Hey, what's up, film fans? Today, we are once again doing something a little bit different. Instead of looking at one singular film, we are looking at all the people who played one famous role that has been around for more than 60 years. But before we get into that, if you're new here or you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the show so you can stay up to date on the reviews. Now, at the very beginning, they started with a relatively unknown actor at the time, Sean Connery. He starred in the first 5 James Bond movies: Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, and You Only Live Twice, sitting out for one movie to come back for Diamonds Are Forever. And then later making the unofficial Bond movie Never Say Never Again. Connery set the original tone of the Bond character as the smooth ladies' man. He played it as the cool, suave, confident, and sophisticated spy who was a playboy and won the ladies with just a look or a cool word or two. He is considered by many to be the penultimate James Bond. But is this just because he was the original? Who knows? When Connery left the first time, the studio cast Australian model George Lazenby in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the only Bond film to his career. He played him more as a laid-back type that was a little more tame and reserved, and he met the woman he was hoping to spend the rest of his life with. But the actor left the role because he didn't want to be remembered only for being James Bond. As Lazenby left and Connery had stepped back in for one more time, Roger Moore became James Bond for 7 films: Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to a Kill. Moore took the playboy game and became more of a cheeky womanizer as he took Bond from the serious spy to a more comical type and less serious, and his witty remarks were way more in the lines of puns. His series of films were much lighter than the previous films, as that was the style of Moore. His Bond was the most set apart from all the others. He was the longest running Bond and played the character until he realized that because of his age he could no longer perform a lot of the action scenes. When we get to Timothy Dalton, we get 2 films: The Living Daylights and License to Kill. Dalton takes Bond back to being more serious and goes a little bit further and pretty much comes across as angry. The playboy aspect takes a little bit of a back seat in his portrayal, as he was taking the character more gritty and back to the roots of the books. And he stepped the action up a little bit more than in the previous films. Then we get to Pierce Brosnan, who took the role in GoldenEye and went on to do Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Brosnan was expected to take the role earlier, but was under contract with the role of Remington Steele. Brosnan took Bond back to the suave, cool playboy set up by Connery and kicked it up a notch, and in my opinion became one of the best Bonds to date. Daniel Craig is the latest Bond as he stepped in for Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die. Craig takes more of a mix of taking the playboy of Connery and Brosnan, mixing it with the seriousness of Dalton, and adds more of a darkness and mystery to the role. His films are a little more darker than all the others, I think. And to me, his films are a little harder to get into, I think, than all the others. I've heard many times when you look at people's favorite Bond, it's usually the actor that was Bond when you became a fan. And I can see this as truth because the first Bond I watched was Die Another Day. And one of my favorite Bonds is Pierce Brosnan. And the other one being the original Bond himself, Sean Connery. I can't really put a ranking on the other 3 Bonds, as there are things about each one that I like and things that I don't like about them. But Bond as a whole is one of my favorite movie series of all time. And at one time I had even owned every single movie up to Die Another Day, until that set was stolen. But now I get to stream them all on different streaming platforms. And if you haven't seen any of these, go back and watch them. They're streaming everywhere. These are classics, must-see movies for everyone. Especially if you're into the spy genre or action movies, these are great. If you count the made-for-television versions of Bond, many other actors have played the role. In 1954, Barry Nelson played James Bond as an American CIA agent in Climax TV's live production of Casino Royale. And in 1967, technically, a lot of actors played Bond in a spoof movie of Casino Royale, including David Niven, Peter Sellers, and Woody Allen, among others. Thank you for joining me, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show and hit that like button. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll know when the next review is posted. And if you have a suggestion for a film to review, leave it in the comments and I'll add it to the list, as I want to know what you want to watch. And if you have a favorite Bond, let us know in the comments as well as your favorite Bond movie, as I want to know what that is. And as always, take care of yourself, be good to the ones you love, and I'll catch you later.